What's going on, guys? This is Yasin, and today I'm going to be showcasing you my Yummy combo video and deck profile for the Justice Hunters format. I think this deck is really good. It's super consistent. It's really good going first and second because it doesn't really lose to hand shops all too much, and it can play a ridiculous amount of non-engine cards. I think it actually has like the record right now of the most amount of non-engine cards if you include the fact that Engage overlaps as a starter and as a board breaker because it can search Widow Anchor. So it is probably the deck that has the highest likelihood of being able to out like a detonator in like 2 seconds, you know, like activate Widow Anchor, negate, play the game, or even with like a full Yummy hand, it's still super easy. This deck also has like access to Obedience Schooled, which is just like one of the most broken card that any deck can theoretically play. Like if you're, imagine if Vanquish Soul had a card that says like special summon 3 Vanquish Soul monsters from your deck, you'd probably like, you know, like you don't understand what I'm trying to say. Like it's the kind of thing that you have to like abuse. Even if it has like restrictions, you can play around every single drawback that that each card gives you, because this deck is very flexible. Even if you can't do too much on your turn, you are especially playing on your opponent's turn, and that's the beauty about this deck. Anyways, I would like to give a massive shoutouts to my Yummy spreadsheet that I created in collaboration with Lucas Sacco, and it is on my website, yacineygo.com, very first link at the top of the description box below. We also created like other spreadsheets such as Dragon Tail, K9, and the full spreadsheet that has like everything, so 225 combos that you can get for 35 US, so please check it out at my website. Again, first link in the description. And with that being said, let's get right into combo number 1. So right now I've got Cookie Yummy, or like Lollipop Yummy, or even Cups Yummy, and any discard. So normal summon and then make the link 1, place the minion, so that's the Monster Reborn one, and then revive back the what's his face? The Cookie whatever. The names are kind of confusing, but anyways, summon the Cupsy Yummy way with searches 2, and then you can even search the same monster twice, and then discard 1, so we discard whatever, and then we search the Cupsy as well as Lollipop, and then special summon the Cupsy, or the missing one, I guess, and then search for the surprise, and then synchro for Martial Metal Marcher, revive back like a tuner monster, which is the only one in the graveyard at this point. And by the way, if you like Ash your opponent, this is really cool. You would be able to like revive back Ash in like from your graveyard, and it's a level 3. So you can like bypass some steps and make a Herald of the Arclight like much easier. This is relevant if you like Ash the Fua, for example. But yeah, anyways, now you special summon the Lollipop, and then make the Link one, and then synchro summon into the actual Lollipop Yummy way, revive back 2 monsters. Your opponent would have nibbed you before, so it's not like you're losing on too much because you do have the Yummy surprise. And then at this point you would be making a Herald of the Arclight with the Martial Metal Marcher and the Lollipop. Link off the synchro monster that is negated for the Yummy Snatch you set to the surprise, and that should be like 6 disruptions, because we can make double Herald of the Arclight with the dude that double book his moon, and then we can banish a card from the opponent's graveyard or shuffle it back into the deck, which is better against Malice actually. So the non-bonus effect of your monster is better, and then we can also destroy like 2 cards, so one with the minion, sorry, with the Croaky, and then the other one with the Cookie. In this situation, look at how like these 2 cards can get dealt with our Omni Negate. So our opponent activates a card effect, we can chain the Lollipop, I believe, yeah, in order to summon back the Cupsy or whatever, as well as the Snatchy, and then we can go, okay, chain link 1, chain link 2, so replace the field spell with the one that pops, and then draw 1 card with the Cupsy, and then quick sync in order to synchro summon for the Lollipop, so revive back 2 monsters. And then, yeah, we're destroying this, revive back 2 monsters, and then effect a quick sync. We can make the Herald of Arclight, and then revive back the Lollipop Yummy way. Our opponent activates cards, we can just go, okay, negate whatever, and negate again. And if our opponent tries to do something else, we can go, okay, Lollipop tag out, revive back 2 monsters, and then link 1, synchro summon again, make the double Book of Moon guy, and then also destroy a card with a field spell, destroy a card with a... It never ends. Like, there's actually way too many disruptions. This deck is absolutely correct. And this was off of, you know, just 1 single card, which is, you know, not too bad, huh? Okay, so combo number 2, and I think this is something that a lot of players just don't really understand at all. When I see people play the Yummy deck, they just play super incorrectly. So Obedience Schooled, they summon 3 monsters, and then they link off for the Yummy Snatchy, they place the field spell, whatever. And then at this point, I actually see people synchro summon for Cupsy way in order to search 2 monsters, and then they get hit by Drool, and then they go like, oh no, now I can't search for the Yummy surprise. But I'm like, bro, you can actually search 3 cards in 1 single chain link. So if you know how to play this deck correctly, it should never be an issue. And you can do this to like beat the Nibiru as well. So far this is 4 summons, so we are Nibiru proof. One thing that we're going to be doing now is that we're going to go activate the field spell, and then chain the link 1, and then we're going to be going synchro summon into the Cupsy Yummy way, revive back the Cupsy. And then this is interesting. So chain link 1 Cupsy, chain link 2 Cupsy, so search 2 monsters, and then search the spell card. So we used to get search 3 searches at the same time. And then if we get rolled, we actually benefit off of that. So we chain and then revive back 2 monsters. And then our opponent has to like nib us here. So it really plays in your favor. And then we go, okay, that's fine. And then we can just go like Yummy Surprise, revive back the Link 1. Summon this or decrease the attack of Nibiru by 1000 permanently. So if you can do this twice, the Nibiru will have 1000 attack, and it won't even be able to run over your Herald of Arclight. That's just to give you an idea of how, like, relevant this effect is, even when it's not, like, the bonus effect. Honestly, all their effects, even, like, when they're not, like, summoned off of synchros, they're still decent, especially the Lollipop. I mean, shuffling back a card arguably is better than banishing a card sometimes. It depends on, like, the situation. Like, obviously, in the mirror match, you want to banish your opponent's field spells, you don't want to shuffle them back, but you get the point. Yeah, anyways, now shuffle back your Jewel if you like the opponent's draw. If you want your opponent to like top deck a useless card, and then, you know, Lollipop revive back 2 monsters, and then if you're going second, this is no OTK. So one single Obedience School can OTK through Jewel and Nibiru regardless of the timing. This is magnificent. Last but definitely not least, I'm going to be showcasing a combo with either Engage or Hornet through Pearlia, so we're just not trying to give draws because we're not trying to be nice, you know? So activate the Hornet, summon the Kagari, recycle back the token, and then Synchro summon for the Cup C, and then search your deck for whatever. It could be Cookie and Cup C, and then discard the Cup C, and then place the field spell, revive back, and then Surge the Surprise, and then Lollipop, revive back 2 monsters, make the Star Ham, discard another card, revive back your level 1, and then make the Herald of Arclight, and just like that, very easily, through Pearlia, by giving 0 draws, we end on Herald of Arclight with the Link 2 that can revive back, you know, your Cup C as well as the Link 1. We still have the Surprise in the hand, and then during the opponent's turn, we can go like for another Cup C, and then search 2 cards again, and then discard the Cookie, and then now it's in the graveyard. And then we can revive back and then start destroying cards, and then, you know, start Book of Mooning everything, and it never ends. This is absolutely fantastic. And by the way, there is one interaction that I didn't mention yet, but with Yummy Surprise, you can get full value off of it, because it allows you to target 2 Light Beast monsters you control and 2 cards the opponent controls, and return them to the hand, but it actually tries to resolve as much as possible. So if you target, like, your, let's say, your Link 1 and a level 1 monster, you can actually chain to your own Yummy Surprise in order to quick sync. So it bounces back none of your cards, but it still bounces back the 2 opponent's cards. And this is a really, really broken interaction. Alrighty, for my deck list, I am playing the Board Breaker version in this one, but you can also just play Hand Traps. Honestly, it's really just like up to personal preference. But I think this is a great list if you want to play Board Breakers. It's very respectable. To each their own, honestly. There's no like right or wrong answer right now, because we don't really understand like which decks are going to be seeing too much play. But if you want to play Board Breakers, then I really do recommend, you know, 3 Imperms, 3 Purge, and 3 Songs of the Dominators, because at least you're never going to have any conflicting. You're never going to play into your opponent's Izuna, which is really relevant. And this deck doesn't lose to Ash, so it's not like you don't feel bad for not playing Chummies, because if you do play Chummies, then they get Ash, but your engine itself doesn't lose to Ash. It's like, you want your opponent to draw useless Ashes against you, you know? So that's the reason why I think this is pretty nice. You can also play Triple Tactic Thrust in your main deck, or like Dark Ruler, but I wanted like Book of Eclipse just to have something that's like more defensive when I go first, that is like probably a little better than Thrust setting like an Imperm and calling it a turn. It's not, you know, necessarily the best, unless you have Imperm and Songs of the Dominators. That's just absolutely broken. That's like the best 2-card combo in this deck, actually. It's like 2 hand traps that are kind of like 3 hand traps, because you're also searching Dominus Purge. It is the nuts. But yeah, we're playing 17 1-card starters, so 12 here, and then 3 here, the 4th here, and then finally the Pot of Prosperity. So 17 starters should be like 94.70% chance, I believe, of getting your stuff going. It's really, really, really high. And also, we're playing like 25 or 24 non-engine. It is ridiculous. So again, in a world where we consider Engage and Widow Anchor non-engine cards, so that would be like 4, and then Talon, so 5, 8, 11, 14, 17, 20, and then like, I guess like 21, or so, I don't even know, but whatever, a lot, okay? A lot, a huge amount. Like pretty much almost everything here, but like not the Yummy Surprises and stuff like that. And also the Combat Grave. So yeah, maybe 22. I guess Prosperity, when it's like excavating Board Breakers, it does count. But when it's excavating a Hand Trap's going second, yeah, it doesn't really, you know, do much of anything. But yeah, again, if you want to play the Hand Trap build, that is 100% acceptable. And honestly, there's no like, there's nothing that should be stopping you from trying it out. But anyways, for the extra deck, 2 Herald of Arclight with the Martial Metal Marcher, the Star Ham. I think this card's pretty cool when you're under Obedience Cooled. So that you just like synchro climb a little easier, and sometimes it doesn't really matter too much if you're discarding like surplus Yummy monsters. It's especially like when you're under like Chummies, you're not trying to summon from the hand. You're really just trying to revive back from the graveyard, and then, you know, it's an easier setup for your opponent's turn. But yeah, I think this card is like okay. It's better than Sorrow Cat in my opinion. I think Sorrow Cat is going to be like an interesting option once we get Doom of Dimensions, because you can look into playing 3 Herald of Arclight, and then you can like shuffle it back and just make this super easily. But right now, I'm not really sold on it. Also, this is a light beast, so it's still summonable in under Obedience Cold, whereas like this is a zombie, so it's like less synergy. Anyways, 1 Cookie, 1 Lollipop, as well as 1 Cup C. You can also consider playing 2 Cup C. It's just like a synchro monster that you're going into very often. And also this deck loses ultra hard to Kastura Unicorn. Super hard. If this card resolves on you, it's basically a wrap. Anyways, Typhon, of course, makes a lot of sense. Nothing really locks you too much under other than Obedient Schooled and like the Link 1 that prevents you from summoning Link 3 or higher Link monsters for the rest of the turn. Which honestly, we don't really care about too much. It's not the end of the world. But yeah, like I said, SP, Kagari, Link Spider, triple Link 1s, and then the Relinquished Anima. This is there for like random stuff like Ghost Reaper on your Link 1. They all get banished, and then you can still play through it because you can make like a Relinquished Anima and then still Synchro Summon. And then your Cup C would search like a field spell, and then you would discard it off of the Cup C Yummy Way. And then you would go like field spell effect in the graveyard, put it back on the bottom of the deck, and then put back like 2 Yummy monsters from the graveyard, or like from the banished it back into the extra deck. So 2 Link 1s would go back, and then you can just pretty much like continue playing from there. So it doesn't really affect you too much. And yeah, for the idea section, obviously these cards are really good. Super Poly is extremely good as well if you want to like not play, you know, Starham as well as Typhon, or even like Relinquished Anima. Harvey's Feather Duster, really good board breaker, evenly pretty good as well if you want to play the board breaker version, which this deck is doing. And then this deck is really afraid of Contact Seas, so watch out for that. If you want to play like Cross Sheaf, this is a consideration. And yeah, honestly, I would try to stay away from like low impact hand traps like Ash, but you can still play like the Chummies. But then you would not be able to play Songs of the Dominators really well, because this conflicts with like every hand trap that isn't like Imperm, Dominus Purge, or like Dominus Impulse, obviously, and Typhoon, so it's not really ideal. That's pretty much it for this Yummy combo video and deck profile. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know how you feel about this deck in the comment section below. And again, a friendly reminder to check out the Yummy spreadsheet on my website, yacineygo.com. I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.